and editor of No Jitter here at Enterprise Connect, where the sessions are in full swing and the expo floor is busy as can be. We're getting ready to close it down in a couple hours, so hopefully everybody's got all the information from the folks down there that they would like. And join us out on the Summit in the Lawn. We'll be there at 4:15 for a conversation on cognitive and contextual communications. In the meantime, I'm here with Justin Haefner, who is a collaboration architect with Medtronic and the big winner from this weekend's TADHack Mini Orlando Hackathon, held in conjunction with Enterprise Connect. Welcome, Justin.
Yes, thank you.
Those J names.
I know,
mess
sorry.
me up every time.
It's my fault.
Oh, no, my fault, entirely. So, Justin.
Yes.
Tell us about what, you heard about the TADHack. What made you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to go down to Orlando 2 days early and I'm going to participate in this thing?
It was a really exciting opportunity. I think it was the fact that it was so focused on telecom, and I was already coming down to Enterprise Connect. So the fact that I saw the advertisement in one of the No Jitter emails, it really just piqued my interest in the fact that I've started to play around with development. The industry's been telling us and repeatedly telling us that us as engineers need to start moving towards learning API, programmability, and that's really what did it, was that the fact that it was so focused on telecom, I thought it would be on board.
So you didn't feel out of sorts with all the college kids there? I mean, that's what we typically associate with these sorts of things a lot, right?
Right. I think it was the fact that I knew that there would be an audience from Enterprise Connect going there. So I did feel at home. I've been doing collaboration, telecom, voice, video, all of those kind of things for 6 years at least now. I started in networking, then went into telecom, voice, video, and over the last 2 years I've been starting to do more writing my own scripts to solve my own problems with my job. And so I felt fairly confident that I would be able to go in there. I wouldn't be a complete embarrassment, but I'd be able to learn. I did some research before I went and read the blogs of people saying, this is your first hackathon, what should you expect? And they really did make me feel like, and it rang true to the TADHack, that they really embraced the newcomer, the beginner. It wasn't a cutthroat competition. It was, what's your project? What's your idea? That sounds very interesting. How can we help? The vendors were there as well. The first day, you kind of just pitched your idea with everyone, all the vendors, and you kind of just felt everyone out what would be the right fit for you to work on.
So let's go with that. I mean, what was your idea? You mentioned writing scripts to solve your own problems. So were you looking to solve a particular problem through the TADHack?
Yeah. When I arrived, I was kind of a blank slate. I wanted something to kind of come up to me. So on my flight over, I actually had no game plan of what I was going to do. When I got there and I started talking to the vendors and kind of got the landscape of what this was actually going to be about, that's when something I remembered a personal experience of mine of dealing with a parent that had health needs, and then trying to coordinate all of the emails and the faxing and voicemail and all of that with my sibling on caring for our parents in healthcare. And when I was going through that as a technologist, I thought to myself, there has to be a simpler, better way to do all this. I can't believe this is what we're faced with, how to do it. And so that became my idea. And after talking with some of the other participants, and I told them my idea, and everyone kind of said, wow, that sounds great. And then I would say, and I'm really passionate about it, then everyone just said, well, you just need to do that because you're passionate about it, so do it. And that was really the motivation. I ended up, teams were kind of formed naturally, and I ended up just kind of sitting down and focusing by myself on it because I had the exact vision of how I wanted it because I had lived it.
So what exactly did you do? What was your hack?
And
did you name it?
I did name it. I named it. I thought it had to have a name, so I named it Elder Connected Care, And that was kind of the premise, was to provide a platform that people going through that kind of a situation, managing really the healthcare and the life and the appointments and all of the communication that goes along with caring for someone that has health issues. All of that entails being very organized, being very communicative with everyone else that's trying to care for that person, being on top of your game on receiving faxes, sending them back. Then you have to make real world decisions on things that you might not be an expert on. And so the other part of what I made on the weekend was like an Uber type of solution
So
where
you did 2 hacks.
well, I did one, but
You
it
are
had
an overachiever, aren't you?
No. Some of them did, and I did not. It had a second path, and that was that a nurse, an off-duty nurse, could text in saying, "I'm available to help families consult," and so that nurse's status would go into ready, and then the family in their room could say, "Let's bring in a nurse to consult on this topic. We just received a fax. We just received something." And we're not the experts. And so the nurse would then, when they would say the keyword or text in the keyword, it would be a cue to pull in the nurse that was in a ready state, available state. And that nurse would come into the chat room as a guest. And then they could all see the same information, they could all chat, they could have done a video call. And then the family could boot that nurse back out, saying, "Thank you very much, you're no longer needed as a guest in our chat room." And so that was the solution that I came up with. I've predominantly used RingCentral's platform, and that's why I won their first place because I used their new group messaging API, and so that's what they were very excited about.
But you weren't doing it for the cash, were you? You
No.
were doing it for the greater good, right?
No, it was really interesting. I did not come down with the cash prize in mind.
Okay. So, one last question, Justin. What experiences are you taking back to Medtronic?
Yeah. I think my boss and my company is very excited about this. Us as telecom and infrastructure people, we don't normally work with programmability yet, right? But the industry is telling us we need to change, or we'll become a dinosaur. It's doing it to the networking folks, it's doing it to the telecom folks as well. So I think that is what I'm taking back with me, is that this isn't the most intimidating thing that we face. It's just another way of accomplishing the goal the goal and the tasks that we've always done in our jobs. It's just a different way of doing it. And it could be really a lot faster, and it could be open a lot more doors for us as telecom or unified communications engineers. So it's not that intimidating. We can do it. You can just pick it up and start learning it. And I think that's the big barrier in this new wave of APIs, is that people that have been doing this for a decade, like myself, had a fear of getting into it, and the fear of failure and not being able to accomplish it. It takes a while. It's a new way of doing things, but you can do it and you can learn it.
Well, Justin, you are a great example for all of the attendees here. Thank you very much for sharing. Thanks for participating in that hackathon, and thanks for sharing your experiences with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.